Warning, this video and all other videos on this channel are for entertainment purposes only. The content of this video and all other videos on this channel are the opinions of the creator only and do not constitute legal, trading, investment, or financial advice of any kind. Investing carries a high level of risk and the majority of retail clients lose money. Do not invest any capital unless you understand the risks and you are prepared to lose it all. Right, hello and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and Bitcoin is doing Bitcoin things, right? The yellow squiggle remains undefeated. So far, so good, happy days. In fact, when we check in, it looks pretty decent. And I'm seeing a whole heap of people that clearly have FOMO at the moment because people keep saying, is that it? Are we not going to have a cycle low anymore? Do cycle lows cease to exist, right? And respectfully, just relax. Okay, trust in the cycles. That's what I'm going to do. You can see I haven't started chasing this market higher. Okay, and maybe that will turn out to be the wrong decision. But if it doesn't give me a cycle low, which would be highly unusual, there's always a chance that was an early one, but I don't think that's the case. Okay, if it doesn't give me a cycle low, I'm not just going to chase this move higher. Instead, we will play this via the crypto-related stocks, okay, in the member section as always. So there's no sense of urgency, there's no sense of FOMO here, and the cycles, remember, can run as far as 66 days and still be inside that timing band, which would put us all the way out to about the 11th of November. Okay, so maybe we have to wait all the way till the 11th, maybe it extends even beyond that, or maybe it's in already. We don't know at the moment, but one thing you don't want to do is just start second guessing a strategy and buying a breakout late in a daily cycle. Okay, that pullback has been expected. The yellow squiggle was doing exactly what we expected to do, so there's no reason to just start saying things like, well, the cycle low's not going to show up, right? I mean, that's not how this works. So if you've got FOMO, okay, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Other than that, welcome to the week, okay? We're going to start off by trolling a few bears, okay? Bitcoin is dumping. All of the loudmouths are suddenly very quiet. You notice this, okay? Humble yourself or the market will humble you. That's how this works. Bob Lucas has pointed out he has now put a third situation on the table. Remember, Bob was calling for this big sideways range into the next weekly cycle and off we go. But now he's saying we may well get this timing-based cycle low. We may even get some kind of, like my yellow squiggle suggests, right, pop and drop, and then we should be going. But remember, the half cycle low for the stock market also falls on that November 5th timeframe, which is right around the elections. Do you really think there's not going to be some level of shakeout into the elections? I think cycles say we're going to be bullish, but first we probably have to find some lows. All of this stuff is in the tutorial playlist, and the cycles video is in the PDF you can download in the pinned comment to this video in the description to all the other ones. All of this is occurring, by the way, against a backdrop of 750 billion in losses in real estate debt, which is 7 times larger than it was in 2008. So whilst it isn't really the subprime setup, whilst it's not that similar in terms of the mechanism, this is much more central bank orchestrated. And notice how the central banks are going to press on with their CBDCs, okay? This, again, to me, speaks to a controlled demolition, as I've been saying over and over and over again. Why do we need all these middle banks? Okay, why not ruin them? Why not get them to borrow money, buy bonds and commercial real estate, promise them you won't hike rates, and then hike rates really aggressively, faster than we've ever seen in history, forcing them to sit on unrealized losses? Okay, why do that? I think the answer is it's a controlled demolition, and they're doing it to wipe out all the banks so that one day we can have our CBDCs. And remember, the whole point of that is it's a direct line between the end user and the central bank. We do not need all the middlemaning. Wild times. And if you want to exit the system, of course, Bitcoin is going to do Bitcoin things in the face of these CBDCs. Meanwhile, from a cycle perspective, this is us in black, okay? Notice where we are. Right back on schedule to do Bitcoin things once more. Happy days there. You can see here from the halving, the prior times we're about 13% of the way through to the next halving. Okay, we saw Bitcoin doing Bitcoin things thereafter. So again, I make the case that we're going to be able to come back here and look at this stuff with hindsight and say, yeah, that was actually really obvious. And hash rate continues to rip to new all-time highs. Okay, need I say more? This is becoming very obvious. Of course, we're having the breakout now. This is the monthly, and we are now above this 71k level as of the time of recording. Okay, pretty wild. And this right here from Tony the Bull is still my preferred look. Okay, it's still my preferred look that we went 1, 2, 3, 4 with a throw under, and now we're going to moon up to these much higher numbers, overthrow this channel. And notice the timing here, and here. That would put us somewhere around February of next year. And of course, if this is to happen, then the base case of having a much more long and drawn out bear market that spans way more than the 12 months Bitcoin is used to seeing will still be very likely. And I can tell you for sure, if we do get up here, a whole heap of people are going to be screaming super cycle. Not many people are going to be calling for a 24-month-ish bear market. And so, Camel, what about altcoins, right? What about altcoins? Well, it's not a popular view, but somebody has to say it, okay? Others against BTC put in new lows last week. So Every rally that we've seen by low market cap alts against Bitcoin over the past 3 years were nothing more than bear market rallies. All you see online is gurus over Twitter and YouTube non-stop shilling meme coins and all of this other kind of alt trash, okay? But most of them are going 2-0 against Bitcoin. They're not outperforming Bitcoin, which is the entire point of them. You will certainly find a few in the comments saying, yeah, well, my meme coin or my altcoin did a 10x, right? Okay, but the reality is this is not a broad-based alt season. There probably is not going to be a broad-based alt season. And people are going to start to work this out. I also wanted to make the point here that if you're disappointed with altcoin performance, okay, then you've seen nothing yet. Okay, you've seen nothing yet. It can get a lot worse. I still have been making the case that we're probably going to see somewhere between 60 and 70% Bitcoin dominance, and then we're probably going to get a recession. And like I said, if you're disappointed with how altcoins have performed up to this point, imagine how bad it's going to be in a risk-off demand destroying event. It is probably going to get a lot worse. Now, can others break out? Can some altcoins moon? Yes, for sure. Okay, but are we going to see a broad-based alt season? Absolutely not. That has been the base case, and it continues to be the base case for me. And I see a lot of people asking questions like, how can others break out? How can Total 3 break out and print new highs? But we can't have a broad-based alt season. And the answer is simple. We've seen it in the stock market. We saw 7 stocks, the Mag 7, pull the indexes up, whilst everything else did nothing. Okay, that's exactly what I think is going to happen here. I think we're going to have a handful of alts, 10, maybe 20 at the most, that are going to drag others, Total 3 et al. Up to new all-time highs. And most people are not going to be holding those 10, 20 altcoins, whatever it is. And if you really think about it, okay, some of these targets for others or whatever, they really only need 3 or 4 coins to do a 10 or 20x. And every other altcoin can go to 0. And we're still going to end up meeting the targets for things like others and Total 3. So, yeah, I think people are going to be in for a very, very rude awakening. If we check in on Bitcoin dominance, okay, look at that. Is it is it just me, right? Yeah, you can tell how inexperienced the market is, right? You can tell how many people got this wrong. They looked at 2017 and they didn't understand what was happening there. They looked at 2017 and said, all of this stuff did 1000x, so it's going to repeat this time around. That's not how it works, okay? Pets.com didn't do 1000x after the top came in the .com bubble. Most of them went to 0 and stayed there forever. And as I've been saying over and over again with your altcoins, even you don't believe they have value. Even the holders of the altcoins don't believe that they are solving any real world problems. Even the people that hold them knowing, well, I'm just going to wait for it to pump and dump, and then I'll buy more Bitcoin with it, right? This is why we're not having alt season. The market has been full of hubris and arrogance. Even the influencers, you can tell now, right? They're becoming exposed as you're realizing that they're not actually traders. They're YouTubers first and traders second. They've been promising people generational wealth. They've been promising them super yachts, Lambos, harems of women. And the reality is the only way you get there is to work exceptionally hard, something most people are not going to do. Ben here makes an excellent point. Does anybody notice something really interesting? Okay, each asset gets increasingly more volatile, speculative, and risky. I don't think there's anything more speculative than meme coins, and I don't think they can be topped other than the slot machine. So the question is, what comes after meme coins? Probably a flush out of all the mania and a reset. Doesn't that line up perfectly with 1929, nearly bang on 100 years into the future? And guess what they were bidding up then, okay? The automobile industry, Ford, GM, radio, and telecommunication. High growth, speculative tech stocks that were going to change the world. Brackets, AI, right? Don't we see this? It's a new paradigm, bro. AI is here to change the world. The crazy thing is that we're now beyond that and people are bidding up on something they know won't do anything other than pump. Okay, this is the point that we've gotten to. We are currently making the roaring 20s, and that's 1920s, look rational. These are absolutely crazy times. Boomers have been bidding up physical assets, real estate, the S&P 500. Gen X had the NASDAQ tech. Millennials, software, finance, Bitcoin, and ETH. And now Zoomers are just buying meme coins, okay? We cannot possibly get any more speculative and frothy than this. And the reality is we probably are in the midst of doing this huge lockout move that no one believes can happen as Bitcoin dominance reaches about 65, 70%. And then everyone's going to go, now it's time for altcoins. Okay, but the reality is we're probably not. As per yesterday's video, okay, the end of these longer term cycles, the end of even the shorter term cycles are all projecting that we're going to see a top this year for the major indexes. We're going to see a top this year and a recession start. Okay, that is the macro backdrop here. Bitcoin can fiercely rally for a couple of months. Okay, it can certainly have this lockout move like I was talking about. I've lost my chart. Here it is. Okay, we can certainly see something like this in just weeks. We've seen it here. Okay, and we've seen it here, hence the timing circles. But make no mistake about it, that does not mean people have to rotate out of Bitcoin into altcoins. A lot of that money is in spot ETFs. Those people are not going to rotate the hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin that BlackRock is holding in that spot ETF out into Dogecoin or whatever your altcoin is, okay? A handful of these alts is going to be doing well, and everyone is going to be left going, oh man, who could have seen that coming? Well, I tell you who. The people that have been here for a long time, the people that take this job seriously. So I know that most people, the moment I started to badmouth altcoins, okay, the moment I started to read this, are no longer watching. So if you're watching, pat yourself on the back, at least for being open-minded to hear someone else's opinion that is not, hey bro, you're going to get generational wealth. Hey bro, Lambo season is coming. You're a pioneer for investing in this technology while no one else could see it. No, the reality is, okay, the whole space is getting exposed and it's probably going to continue to happen. S&P 500, like I said, we are waiting for that half-cycle low around day 20, which would be in the next few sessions. We can maybe overrun a little bit to get us into that early November time frame, and then it should be time, right? It should be time to see this thing really start to push off out of those election weeks. Same deal for the Nasdaq and the same deal for the Dow, okay? They're bouncing where they need to bounce for now, at least. Gold is looking like it wants to right translate for its daily cycle, so happy days, long and strong position via miners in the member section. And for Bitcoin, like, we've already done it, right? The thing is pushing up. The thing is scorching short. There is still going to be a daily cycle low somewhere in this neighborhood, okay? So no changes to the plan there. And then it should be party time. Then it should be a pretty straight shot to some ridiculously high numbers that everyone's been telling me is no possible way we can do it the whole cycle. And notice what Bitcoin loves to do the most, okay? Notice how it loves to ruin everybody's hopes and dreams because they doubt it. Notice how at the lows, it was we're waiting for 12 or 14K, okay? Then it was, okay, we've had a little pop, 12 to 14K next. Then it was, oh, no way I'm buying that, it's bearish. Then it was 702 retracement, dump the whole stack, new lows are coming. And then it was finally, I'm going to buy it here, okay, because we broke out above all-time highs. Only for everyone to go, oh, no, this is a scam, this is a scam. We get to here, and everyone goes, 40K, bro, and then I'll buy. And what happens, it's going to lock everyone out. It's going to moonshot once more. It's going to repeat one of these big moves like it always does, okay? And only the experienced are going to survive. Only the paranoid survive. So it feels good to be back. I hope you're doing well in life. I hope you're capturing some of these games. I hope you don't get too much FOMO, okay? Like, be a man, okay? Grab your balls. Be a man. There's no way you're going to get through this if you're jumping up and down and sweating and shaking like a little girl the whole time, okay? You can't do it. You need to manage your emotions. You need to be stoic about this. You need to play what the chart is showing you in front of your eyes. I'm your boy Camel. I hope you found value here today. I hope it didn't make you cry about your altcoins. And please do subscribe if you want to see how we get underneath some cycle lows in the next few days. In the meantime, take care from me. All the best. Cheers. Bye.
Camel Finance, he's the man to see. Rocking the markets with his contrarian spree. Trades like a pro, no fear, no shame. Sticking to his guns in his money game. He's a badass, oh yes indeed. Camel Finance got the markets key. Taking us normies on a